Hello.
Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday live stream. And I have a very special guest. I have a really special guest. Sonia is my very special guest tonight. And Sonia, hello. She said she's a bit nervous being on, right, Sonia?
Yes, but I'll make it. FDS is showing up.
Yeah. Her future dream self. We call it in our program. We call it in my program. We call it our future dream self, and this is what we're creating. And her beautiful future dream self is showing up. So Sonia actually has a beautiful story. You know, I titled this live stream. Hi, Lucy. I titled this live stream, how Sonia ditched keto and actually got her health back. And that's exactly really pretty much what happened. So we're going to just be getting into that. So please stick around because as Sonia will tell you, and I know, these diets like the keto and the paleo and what are some of the other ones, Sonia, the low carb and all of that, they're so trendy, they're so popular, it's so confusing. And Sonia probably, if there's anyone's watching who is totally confused all the time about what you read on the internet, one person says this, one person says that, don't know what to do to lose weight to get my health back, then you need to listen to Sonia. Not me, but Sonia. And so let's start off with this. Let's start off with first off, Sonia. So Sonia has just finished my program. It's, she's been working with me for a few months. My coaching program is called Ignite Your Life. And Sonia we were talking about what we wear for the live streams. And Sonia was going, well, I had to change my outfit and everything. Why did you have to change your outfit? Let's start there.
I had to change my clothes because I have lost so much weight. And we'll get into that later, but it's not just like scale weight, but my body has just resculpted itself. And I was telling Sophie, I thought I knew what I was going to have on, and I had it hanging here all day. But then what happened was I put it on, and when I got in front of the camera, it was like, it was ill-fitting. It was, so I told her, I said, one of my problems is I don't have any clothes that fit anymore. So, I'm sitting here in activewear, and I apologize for that, ladies. I tried to dress up for it, but unfortunately, I don't have any other clothes that fit. So that's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. But as we say, it's a thorn turned into a celebration. It's like I need all new clothes. That's a bad thing. But the reason that I need new clothes is a wonderful thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Christine is on, which is absolutely lovely. Hey, Michelle. So we have some beautiful ladies on. So if you've just jumped on and you come on a little bit late, I'm chatting with beautiful Sonia, who I have had the absolute honor and pleasure of coaching over the last few months in my program. And Sonia's just sitting here right now, just, literally going, don't really have any clothes apart from my activewear that fit right now. I believe your watch and your rings were also, were not fitting so well either.
Yes. Oh, no, there's a whole slew of, like I said, clothes do not fit. My wrist has gotten so small that my watch band, literally when I measured for it, because I had planned on getting it back in December, and it was a size 4 wrist. And now all of a sudden I had to go down to a 2. And a new one that I haven't mentioned to you yet, Sophie, is my shoes. my shoes were wide, and I had slip-ons, and now they're slipping off. So now I have to do that too.
That is so great. For those of you, we've already got a lot of questions because how I sort of titled this live stream, because it was such that it just is the truth of your experience, is how, Sonia ditched keto and found her health and got her weight loss. And really, when I said keto, it's kind of, the kind of low carb thing. So yes. And a lot of you have said that, and I know it's a very good
meat and high fat.
Somebody said, congratulations, Sonia. It's a great problem to have, not to be, to need to buy new clothes and things. So Sonia, is, has got some great results, and we're going to get into that. But let's talk. Let's just dig straight into what it was like. What was your struggle before you came to the Ignite program? Because you're a great researcher. That's what I love about you. Just talk a little bit about the space and struggle and confusion you were in before you started work. You came into Ignite.
Well, my biggest thing was I was pre-diabetic and with high blood pressure and cholesterol, a whole lot of other things too. But those were the main three. And those were family history driven because my father's last year of life was not very good, and it was all complications of being diabetic. And he had heart disease, and the blood pressure kind of goes along with those two, things, and hypertension as well. So the other part of it is I'm 63, and I had a large family. So my parents' generation we've just lost the last of that generation. But with my generation, it was a time where, like, I'm 63, and a lot of my first cousins and even close friends, they did not make their 60th birthday. And that was kind of a awakening. It's like, what is going on? And everyone, it was an array of things, but it was always health related, a cancer, and things complicated by, like I said, family history with they're either diabetic, because many of my family are already diabetic. I was pre-diabetic, and I was attempting not to cross over, and with the medication and everything, everyone who is, like I said, there's a lot of us first cousins and siblings, everyone's already on the medication. And I said, I'm not going down that road. I'm just not. So, and I've been losing weight now. For all of the keto people out there, I'm not bashing keto. This is, as they say, what worked for me. Now, keto, I was losing weight, but my issue was that my health markers weren't improving any. So I was losing weight, and anytime you read something, someone's like, oh, you lost 10 pounds, you lost 20 pounds, and their blood pressure dropped, and all of these numbers were dropping. My numbers were not, they were inching down, but it was like, okay, I've lost a good amount of weight. Something should be going on here. And then what also happened, it'll kind of January, New Year's resolution kind of stuff. And what happened right prior to that was my son had his 40th birthday. And for me, 40 years ago is when I started with the weight issue. I didn't have any prior to that, but my first pregnancy started the, up and down and having to even look at weight. I had never been on a diet or anything like that before that. But what happened also was, over the years, you keep telling yourself it's baby weight. I was like, well, I've got a 40-year-old. I don't think I cannot say this is not baby weight. I think I'm going to have to, kind of change this up. But between that and then New Year's resolution, and like I said, I was 63, and I was like, you know what? Every year with a New Year's resolution, you start, and the first thing that happens is, okay, weight loss comes up. And I was like, I am sick of this. So I kind of told everybody, I was like, you know what? This is my last ditch effort. After this, it's like, this is what it is. I don't want to talk about diets anymore. I don't want to do any of these things. So whatever I do in this, I'm going to, find something. I'm going to keep trying, but it's like, this is the last one. I am tired. I'm retired. I do not want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So somewhere along the line, Sophie and her program popped up on Facebook. And what's very interesting about that is I'm not on Facebook. I only go on Facebook every now and then. Somebody in my family would say, did you see, 99% of the time when I'm on Facebook, I'm looking for the baby pictures that someone in the family posted. And that day that I found Sophie, I was on there looking at pictures of, my nieces and nephews and grandchildren and everything. And all of a sudden, here's this very beautiful, vibrant woman talk, because I did say that. I was like, she looks pretty good for her. She claims she's, this particular age. I'm like, okay, that's helpful. Just like, when they say you really want to take weight loss from someone who, is obese. Well, it's like, well, you're talking about health and looking good and feeling good. And I'm like, well, she just might have something there because, as they say, she's walking her talk. So, but the day I saw it, I was like, you know what? I had to go because I run and pick up my grandkids from school. And I was like, oh, I got to go. I'll look at this tomorrow. But again, see, with me and Facebook, when I went back, I couldn't find it. I was like, well, I thought, how things in Facebook, they're not always in order. It's like 1 minute it's there, the next minute it's not there. Yeah. But I remembered your name because of Sonia and Sophie. And I looked it up, and there was this invitation for the breakthrough. And like I said, there was a lot of things that resonated with me, but it was like, there was just so many things that she said. She said things like nutrition. She said things like looking better and feeling better. And also things like, the last time, if you do this, you don't have to keep doing it again. And, but that looking better, feeling better was a really good one. It was, I do want to feel better. And even with losing weight, I didn't, one thing that happened with Ignite that didn't happen when I was on keto was like I was losing weight and I was doing a little bit of exercise, nothing drastic, but I was exercising. But I never got that energy kick. Somewhere along Ignite, for those people in our program, it's like you get that shift. And it does, for me, it didn't come immediately. When we were on the calls, I would be a little sad because, people are saying how, this happened and that happened. And I'm like, And then even with weight loss, originally, I plateaued early. But then again, I was like, well, you know what? This is probably, the best I'm going to do anyway, because it was extra weight. And where I ended up was, like I said, I don't know if I'm getting out of sequence here, but my weight loss goals, I actually exceeded my weight loss goals. I had goals and they blew by. I had to come up with some new ones because I didn't think that where I ended up, and I'm still not done yet, ladies, but it was beyond anything that I could have imagined. It was certainly beyond my expectations because, like I said, my original goals, they blew those by the wayside. So,
oh my God. So Sonia, let's get into this piece here, because this, I think, is what is absolutely magical. By the way, everyone's saying you look awesome for 63. You do. You look absolutely amazing, glowing.
Except my hair's thinning, and that's why I cut it all off. Anyone who, it's like, because when I joined the program and you said we would be on Zoom and Facebook, I was like, oh, don't worry about that because I don't do that. And then it was like, oh my God.
And then she had to come. And that's coming back. And look, she says she doesn't do Facebook, Zoom, nothing. And now she's doing a live with me. So something massive has changed. So here's what's really interesting to me about your journey. So when Sonia came in, she was really afraid of the whole carb thing, because I know a lot of you have said here, what you started eating carbs and whatnot. So Sonia was afraid, and if you don't mind me saying, Sonia, you said, look, I was pretty much a card-carrying carnivore. I was, Sonia was very well read, very well researched. Sonia's an incredibly smart woman. It's not through lack of research. Mm-hmm. And as she said herself, she had done these different diets and tried this and tried that and had some degree of success with weight loss. But as we say in the program, the weight loss is the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't address mindset. It doesn't address your heart, your soul, your spirit, how you walk through life. And this is the thing that really is very different about what we do. But the thing that I find so interesting about your story is that, Sonia, you at the beginning, or actually not at the beginning, well, I knew at the beginning. At the beginning, Sonia was like, and she was really kind of resisting certain things, and it was so scary for her.
Because I resisted more putting in than taking out. Because I didn't mind when you said no meat or anything like that, but it was one of those things where we were eating soy, we were eating carbs, which I haven't had. I hadn't had any grains, even fruit. I was pretty much meat, fish, a protein, animal protein, and vegetables. That was it. I didn't have fruit because I was under the impression that fruit was going to spike my glucose. And I do check glucose all the time. I am a, what do you call it? Continuous monitoring my glucose levels.
Continuous monitoring.
Yes, this is continuous monitoring. So it was one of those things where I don't eat fruit. I do not eat grains or anything like that, because those are the things that, when you follow other methods, that tell you that's what's going to spike it. So I'm staying away from all of those things.
That's right. So look, this is what I would love you to cut straight to the chase with, because Betty Ann has just come on and said, yes, so many people, including my doctor, said I need low carb, blah, 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 which a lot of doctors do. So speaking of doctors, speaking of results, because, Sonia can sit here going, her body has shrunk, her waist has shrunk, because it's not just, as Sonia smartly said at the very beginning here, she said it's not just the number on the scale, because with diets like keto and paleo, the number on the scale can go down because you're losing lean muscle mass. Yes. And you're losing water. And that's why the number on the scale can go down quite dramatically in some cases. But what we want as we get older, we do not want to lose lean muscle mass. We want to gain lean muscle mass.
And I did lose it. I did prior, and like I said, Ignite, I'm building it back up.
Yeah, exactly. So Sonia, what are your results? So Sonia had her lab results done. This is a woman who doesn't mess around. She's pre-diabetic. She had high blood sugar. As you're hearing, she continually tests herself. So she was like, this was a big pivot for her. And for many people, especially if you're a doctor, so you hit it. What are your results? This is like 3.5 months later. What are your results?
Yes. So my A1C pre-Ignite, and it was the blood work and everything coordinated just so well, because with the time that I took my blood work, I hadn't found Ignite yet, and then I had it, and then I was like, oh, this is wonderful. I have to go back for my follow-up by the end of the program, and I was hoping I was going to get the results before I was totally. I didn't know about glow up and stuff at the time, so I was like, oh, I hope the program's not over, because I'd certainly like to be able to say what they are. Well, my A1C was 6.0, and that was diabetic. And it wasn't diabetic, it was pre-diabetic. And now it's 5.4, which is actually in the normal range. I have not been in the normal range for over a decade. And it's not like on the border where like one more point, I'll be back to pre-diabetic. I've got wiggle room in there.
We love wiggle room.
We love wiggle room. So my blood pressure on the first day of Ignite was 145/90. The day in the office, I even took a picture of it. In the office, when they took my blood pressure, it was 118/71. My blood glucose on the day of when I just monitor it myself, with this, you try to keep it under 100. The first day of Ignite, it was 117. The day of my office visit, it was 89. And I meant to actually take it. I didn't write it down for today, because again, it was like 80 something. I've never seen numbers like that before. Before, even when it was, low, it's like, as long as I was like 99, 98, I'm like, yes, I'm under 100. I'm in the 80s, and I've actually gotten into the 70s on occasion. My cholesterol was 234, which was high, and now it's 172, which is in the normal range. And that is down like 60 points. I think it's 60 points or so.
60, I think it was 62 points.
Yes, because I wrote it somewhere. Yeah. So, and my cholesterol, like I said, my weight is actually down 26 pounds, but my results are they're just bigger than that. They're bigger than that. Because like I said, I've done that before. It just wasn't. And also with the 26 pounds is taking me 10 to 15, definitely 10. And like I said, I'm kind of shooting for 15 pounds past what my original goal was, because I had no idea that this was even possible. My BMI, which Coach Sophie asked me to do, was 30 then, and it's 24.5 right now.
Gosh, that makes me so, I didn't even know that result. That makes me so happy. And
I did my blood pressure,
it's 24 below.
The cholesterol, because I had taken them. Because I remember you were asking me, and I was writing these things down. Oh, dress size down 4 dress sizes.
Okay, can we just take a moment here? Can we just take a moment? So Sonia's gone down 4 dress sizes. Okay, and this is where,
and that's what I said, because 20 pounds doesn't sound like
no,
that. But see, I was also carrying all of my weight in
around, the middle. Exactly.
Yes. So I was a refrigerator with a round belly. Because they say apple shape, but it was like I wasn't even quite round. I was kind of squared and round.
But what is so meaningful and powerful about this is that, and you are just such a wonderful, wonderful testament to this way of living and eating, is that, ladies and anyone who's watching, you can do your paleos and ketos or crazy anything kind of diet to lose weight. You can smoke cigarettes and drink coffee to lose weight, to lose 100 pounds, if that's what all you're interested in. But truly, what we're talking about, what Sonia is experiencing, is her body has changed. Not the number Absolutely. On the scale, which is actually is not the most accurate predictor. It's a little fickle. It goes up and down and round about, blah, blah, blah. But her body, she has dropped 4 dress sizes. She's got her waist back, everything.
And the goal was 2.
The goal was 2. It's 4.
The goal was 2.
Yeah.
3 would have been nice.
Absolutely. And you know what? The numbers on the paper that Sonia was just reading, those don't lie. And what was I'm so thrilled for you. Not everybody does this in the program. Not everybody is so thorough about looking at, results and things, but you had to be, because you had high blood sugar. You had to be because you were pre-diabetic. You had to be for many reasons. And so it is a beautiful, you've worked hard for it. And Sonia, like all the women who get these extraordinary results in the program, it's not through sitting around and dipping your toes in and going, oh, I'm going to just half measure it or whatever. Sonia threw herself in 100% and committed to this. And, I know that 4 months ago, 3.5 months ago, you didn't think that you were you hoped, but you didn't think that you were going to get these results.
Nothing like this now.
I want to ask you, Sonia, aside from those results, which now your BMI is in, from my point of view, as a nutritionist who really studies, health span. Because we're not really talking lifespan here. We can all be kept alive with medications. And Sonia did not want to go on medications the way that her family had done. She was really adamant that she wanted it to be natural and everything else. So now, she has health span. And now at 63, she looks younger. As everybody says, they're amazed that you look at 63. You have this extraordinarily beautiful next phase of your life. Will you talk a little bit about your mindset change, or the mindset element of what you've been through over the last 3 months? Because that's quite a big shift for you, isn't it, as well?
For me, and like I said, I mentioned, just because, people wanted to know what the numbers were, but the mindset for me was more important after the fact. When I joined the program, the weight and all of that was, number one priority. But I'd say no, a week, 2 weeks into the program, it was like, okay, yes, I'm certainly going to do, I'll keep losing, or I should say, keep eating the correct foods, because, I didn't wobble. And I just want to say I didn't wobble, but it was because I was afraid to. Yeah. I came into this program saying, I am, one of Coach Sophie's things, I am committed to this. I am committed to this. I need to do something for me, because I was defeated, for lack of a better term. I was defeated. I was insecure. I was wounded from life itself, and all sorts of just very disempowering types of things. And as soon as we got into the modules and started talking about mindset and FDS, which for people, it's just our future dream self. But it gave me something to shoot for. It gave me a different goal. The goal was no longer some number on the scale, or even a dress size for that matter. All of a sudden, the goal became, I want to feel better. I want to, and I do. And it's kind of like, I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she's like, you have this confidence in your voice. Because I was kind of telling her about the program, my graduation. And she's like, I can hear it in your voice. And that's something that came through the mindset. The mindset was, I want to not even feel better. It was kind of one of these things where it was, like I said, we call it our future dream self, but at the same time, it was like, I don't want it to be in the future. I kind of want it to be now. So what do I have to do to feel this way now? And between all of our mindset work, all of our journaling, there's some very powerful questions in there that we have to ask ourselves. And personally, I do it every morning. We have something that we call kind of a morning routine. And I start my day with, how do I want to feel, and what needs to happen in order for me to make that happen? And it works every day, even when it comes to scheduling, because sometimes, if you have to go catch during COVID, I haven't been traveling, but it's like just one of those things where if I've got to catch a plane, it was always early in the morning. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I got to get up earlier and I have to do these different things. And it just became, I guess, for lack of a better, because it was a routine and I did it every day, it became a habit, but it became a habit that I wanted to do. One of the things that, and I think as we say, I choose to do. I choose to meditate. I choose to continually do my mindset work. I choose to, and interestingly enough, even when it came to the body stuff, my body chose to do these things. It was, I started waking up earlier to get my exercise and stuff in before my day started. I wake up earlier in order to get my mindset stuff going. And those aren't, I've never set a clock to do it. I was automatically waking up early. And like I said, I've learned to listen to myself, and I was waking up earlier, and it's kind of like, okay, you have this extra time, get this in. You have this extra time, get this in. And it just became more, and, and like I said, it's just one of those things it's confidence, it's energy. I have this energy that that's also what started with the walking somewhere around our module 9 when we had to do that body exercise. And it was one of those things where my body was saying, let's get up, I started going further and walking. I automatically park away from the supermarket and everything. When I do laundry now, I was laughing at myself today because I noticed whenever I get to the stairs, I run down and I run up. It's automatically, as we call our little habit stacking type things.
Yeah. I mean, look at you, Sonia. You are just, it's so lovely to actually see you just talking about this, because when you now have a youthful energy and you have a light about you, that is so beautiful. And to have that, haven't really got time to go into the whole of your life circumstances, but I know there was a big part of you that did, as you said, you felt defeated, you felt stuck, you were hugely lacking in confidence, you felt just stuck, really. And now to see this bubbling youthful energy where you want to walk, you want to move, you wake up early in the morning, you're committed to your mindset work, you're committed to all this, everything that you've done in the program, not because you have to do it, and that's how we roll, but because you want to do it, because it makes you feel so good. And just seeing you just...
A big thing for me was I was too old and it was too late to do these things. It was like, well, it's just too late. And that is not the case anymore. Let me tell you, I do not, trust me when I tell you, I do not believe that anymore. It's like, we've got some possibilities out there. It's like, okay. And a lot of times people ask you, what do you want to do? It's like, I'll make it up as I go. It's like, I want to be able to do whatever it is I decide that I want to do. And that's a feeling. And it's just, Ignite is what gave that to me.
Oh my gosh. So, so beautiful. You are, I can't even tell you how sort of honored I am to have worked with you, but honestly, how blown away I am by your dedication, your commitment. There was something, as you said, in your sort of heart and your soul. You and I both believe that things kind of happen for a reason, and that sort of came in, and you were like, it's almost like for you, it was like, this is the last ditch attempt that I'm going to give it to do something different.
Yes. And it was the best decision of my life.
Well, I always get a little bit teary and a little bit emotional because I get to know you. Obviously, I've got to know you pretty well over the last three or 4 months, and I get to carry on having the joy of watching your journey unfold. We have in my program, we have various different groups and graduation where Sonia is now what we call glowing up. I want to finish on this. So, and by the way, if there's anybody who's out there who is suffering, who is just thinking, I can't, I've tried all these different things. Maybe you've tried the paleo keto, and maybe, we, as I say about those diets, it's not about getting into a skinny coffin. You want to be like Sonia. You want to have a live and energy and look at your labs and have everything. Have your doctor, as I always say in the program, we want your doctor jaw to the floor, going, whatever you are doing, carry on doing it.
My doctor specifically said that when she sat down and looked, because typically we sit down and she just starts with, okay, here we go again, and she's like, whatever, she's like, what, first she did ask me, she's like, what are you doing? What have you done? Because we have had this conversation many times over, the past several years, because she's been my doctor for, several years. And it's like, we've had this conversation. And she said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I intend to keep doing it.
Good. And so anyone who's watching out there, if you are suffering, if you are struggling, if you feel you need help, because this stuff isn't necessarily that easy to do on your own, as Sonia found, there's a lot of support, help, accountability, a lot of moving pieces here. But if you're struggling, you can always pop on a breakthrough call.
But that's what makes the program also, because there is support here. And a lot of times, when something happens, you can't wait a week to discuss what happens then. And, those 3 calls a week, and it's always something that you're dealing with, and then someone brings something up and it's like you have that same issue or something close to it. And just those coaching calls, we were doing it 2-3 times a week, and that's what made the program. The food, yes, 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 you told us how to eat, but the support, the continuous support, because I've never seen, and like I said, I've been around and I've been in a lot of programs. I've done the gamut. I have never seen anything, including therapy, where someone is there, right when you need it. Because like I said, like if you have an issue today and you write it down, it's like next Wednesday, if you ask me about it, it's not going to have the same effect. I need to be able to, if I have a wobble, I need to address it now. If I'm having an issue, and often it's, you help us with something that's coming up. If there's a social event or something that we're doing ahead of time, it is, like I said, beyond expectation. I couldn't even begin to explain the whole thing to you of what it does for you, but it is life-changing. It is life-transforming. It is something that if you decide to do it, it is the best decision you will ever make for yourself. And
well, we are delighted, and I can just see there's Christine on, who's actually in my program right now. And Christine said, Sonia, you are such an inspiration. We don't give up until the miracle. It's an amazing program.
Yes,
sweet of you.
Yes, and don't give up until the miracle. Because that's one of the things that I did. I surrendered. I trusted the process, because unfortunately, I gave Coach Sophie a hard time because I was resistant. I was kicking and screaming. It was like, no, I can't eat this. I can't do that. I can't, and It was, like I said, trust the process, trust Coach Sophie. Her program is absolutely one of the best things that I've ever come across.
Wow.
And I will be forever grateful. And I truly mean
that. That's just absolutely lovely. And Kathy said, is this? Yes, it is, Kathy. It is. Yes. So anyway, I love you so much, and I can't even wait to see what unfolds. When we do our little graduation in the program, we in the program got to hear Sonia's plans for the next year or so, which are pretty awesome. So it's an exciting, incredibly exciting life that you've got ahead of you, and now you've got all this energy. You've got all this energy,
and I still have work to do. Because now that I've lost all of this weight, I got to tone it up.
Now you got to tone it up. So now we got to having lost 4 dress sizes. We're gonna have to go get you a new wardrobe as well.
Yes, but may I just say one thing too? Also, when it comes to exercise, it's also things like strength. Getting up. We do this little thing which happened today, or like the other day, where you have to get down on the floor. One of my goals was putting stuff away on the bottom shelf. I used to get a stool and sit on it. And now I just squat down, do what I have to do, and get back up. And, those are the types of things that for an older person, some of us are older than others, and it was hard to do. And getting on the floor, forget it. I did not get on the floor unless there was something or someone around who could help me get back up. I did not and could not, honestly, get down on the floor and get up by myself. And the same thing, unfortunately, happened in the tub. It was like I was in the tub, and in order to get out of the tub, I had to turn around and get up on all fours, get down on all fours in order to get myself out of the tub. And those things
are a thing
of the past.
They're a
Thing
thing
of the
of the
past.
past.
I might
love
even do some squats for you right now.
You are an absolute joy, an absolute joy. So, ladies, if there's anybody, you know, as I said, who's suffering out there, and really, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're 40 or 70, come on in. You know, this is an age when so often we think we've got to settle and it's all over, and may as well just, you know, settle for getting, you know, old and achy and overweight and everything, and health to deteriorate. Well, no, you don't. And Sonia is here to absolutely be a shining, beautiful example of that. And that's all on you. You have worked so hard to get these results. And I know that you are fiercely committed to continuing this journey.
Yes, I am.
Continuing
Absolutely.
going up. And that makes me so happy. So I can't wait to, as I've said, to see what unfolds, because I think there's some pretty exciting things in the very near future. So thank you for being on with us tonight. I know it's late for you. Sonia's in New York. So thank you for sharing, being on and spending this time with us tonight, and inspiring all the ladies in my community, and, you know, those who you know, are even just on the edges of my community. And
Thank you very much. It was an honor.
You know,
Thank
and
you
if you're
for asking
struggling,
me.
Catherine, I think, put in the link to the call, so I'll just put it on one more time. If you want to book a call, the link's in the chat. Go ahead and do that. And Sonia, thank you. And all you ladies, thank you. And gents, thank you for joining us tonight. And I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Right, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.